Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the conference. Right now, we are in the session called Kentucky Rise Program, Even More Amazing Resources for Aging Out Students. And we have our presenter, Lorraine Wilbur, from the Department for Community-Based Services. Before I turn it over to her, just want to let you all know that we do have the chat box here if you have any questions, or just feel free to unmute yourself and pipe up and let us know if you have any questions for Lorraine. And without further ado, I will turn it over to her. And she has a lot of great stuff to tell you all about.
Hello, everyone. As Cindy said, my name is Lorraine Wilbur. I am with the Department for Community-Based Services. I am the Chafee Program Administrator, and I am excited to talk about all the different resources and benefits that are available to current and former foster youth. So let me go ahead and try to share my screen here. And as she said, please put your questions in the chat. I like interaction, so it's strange to have everybody's camera off. I understand it makes it go faster, but it also kind of creeps me out. So I may ask people to unmute themselves and at some point and speak. All right. Some of you may or may not be familiar with our resources, so hopefully this won't be too redundant for most of you, but KY Rise is our overarching program for all things transition age foster youth, resources for independent success and empowerment. So we have a KY Rise website, we have KY Rise events. KY Rise is the overarching program. A few things that are underutilized that I really want to highlight during this presentation is youth development funds. So these funds have been around now for I don't know, a few years, but they really are underutilized by our young people. Again, these resources, these funds are available to foster youth, current foster youth. So for those who are age 14 and over, we have extracurricular activities. So we can help, pay for extracurricular, whether it be through the school or whether it be, a community team, whatever. We have $500. And I had the opportunity to speak to Ronnie at our recent meeting about just encouraging the different PCCs or different residential facilities, different schools to offer some extracurricular activities, whether it be, sports teams, whether it be just clubs, and we can help cover some of those costs up to $500 per year. So we would love to see, some of the residential programs maybe compete against each other in some sports or clubs or, the sky is the limit. So please reach out to me if you're interested in that. Youth age 16 and over are eligible for driver's education. So we will pay for them to get driver's education. We are helping with transportation. So if they need help purchasing a car, we can do that up to $1,000. Of course, they must have their driver's license for us to do that. But we will help with car repairs. So let's say they have a car and there's issues, we'll help with car repairs. And so, that's a pretty significant, assistance right there, $1,000. If they need help with employment, clothing for employment, we'll help with the $300. Education, this includes fees that come up when young people are applying for college, application fee, registration fee, dorm fee, and then also just things they may need for their dorm room, or that's going to be under college prep, but we'll pay for that up to $500. Genetic testing, this is something that our Youth Leadership Council advocated for, and we added. Many young people are interested in their family history. They don't know a lot about their family history. So whether it be medical history, they don't know what diseases may be prominent in their bloodline. And so they asked that genetic testing be included. So it is, they can request to get a genetic testing and maybe find family members and just find out more about their genetic history. Storage and moving. So this is for young people who, are maybe moving from dorm to dorm or moving out of care, transitioning out. We will help with moving and storage fees up to $500. For those who are over 17, we'll help them purchase a computer. We actually have a partnership with Aetna Sky. Hopefully your young people in your facilities are aware of that, where they will actually provide them a computer, 18 and over. One thing that's not on here is a cell phone. So young people in foster care, 14 and over, I believe it is, they are eligible for a cell phone. So they are eligible to apply through Aetna. Their worker can apply for them. Of course, they have to get the permission of their worker, but we really want to encourage, the agencies to encourage and let young people know that they are eligible for this benefit. The phones do have, limits on them and locks on them, etc. But they are eligible for a free cell phone. It provides free service. And they can get that until they're 17 years old. Want to make sure if I have any questions. Oh, no questions. And so also we have college prep. That's what I talked about. So if they're going away to college, we'll help pay for the different things you need for college. We have a second chance scholarship. As you all know, sometimes young people go to school and maybe the first semester or two, they don't do well. They end up incurring a bill. We can help with that bill. If you have any questions about youth development funds, you can feel free to unmute yourself or put it in the chat. Of course, they have the other educational benefits. So they have the tuition waiver, will waives up to 150 credits. Now, I'm not sure if you all are aware, but that was changed a couple of years ago. It used to be different, the criteria. Now it's up to 150 credits, up to 28 years old. This really opened up the scope of young people who were eligible for this benefit. And so we are just excited to see young people using this benefit who prior to were no longer eligible. Also, we have the education training voucher, which provides $5,000 up to 26 years old to any former foster youth who is pursuing a post-secondary education. What are the qualifications for youth to receive youth development funds? They just have to be current foster youth between the ages of 14 to 21. So it's broken down based upon the age that was on the slide, but they just have to be a current foster youth. Any young person who is eligible in accessing those youth development funds should just reach out to their regional independent living specialist. I just wanted to highlight, since we're talking about educational benefits, I know that we often hear negative Nancy news about foster youth or even DJJ youth, but we have young people who are doing amazing things and we don't feel like they're being highlighted enough. So we want to get the word out that young people are graduating. Foster youth are graduating from college. Foster youth are earning credentials. Here is a young person. He aged out of foster care. He just earned his dual degree in sociology and criminology from WKU. He actually works for me now. He works as a pandemic relief navigator. So we've hired him. Glenda Wright, she actually just graduated with her Juris Doctorate. So she's a lawyer now from Northern Kentucky University. She actually works for me now too as an intern. And then Tia, she's an intern too. She's a pandemic relief navigator. And she just earned her bachelor's in social work. And she is starting her master's program at U of L this year. And I point out that they work for us because that is one thing that we are very passionate about, is hiring individuals with lived experience. And so we have a lot of individuals we have hired who have lived experience, who help us run these various programs, who help us improve these programs, who give us insight and feedback. And so I'm very excited to have them on my team. Another program that is available to current and former foster youth. Not a camera, just one. Is our Earn and Learn program. I'm very excited. We launched this during the pandemic. Probably not the best time, you think, to try something new, but we wanted to continue to try to serve foster youth as best we could. So we launched this program. It helps them to boost their earning potential by providing them weekly wages while they pursue a short-term training credential. So we are really focusing on those credentials that are in high demand, right? So there's a federal, a state list that's provided. And we really focus only on those short-term credentials that are in high demand. Or a young person can also participate if they are pursuing their GED. We will pay them up to $250 a week. So if they go part-time, they get $150 a week. If they go full-time, they will receive $250 a week, all just to pursue a short-term credential or their GED. because we know, particularly right now with the way the economy is, you need some type of education, and 4-year may not be for everybody, right? With these credentials, they can make way more than maybe you would even make with a 4-year degree. So we're not interested in forcing young people to go to college and get 4-year degrees, but we do want to strongly encourage them to at least get a short-term credential. And we are really pushing this. We want every young person, if possible, to leave foster care, age out with some type of short-term credential. That way we know they have the ability to earn a living wage. Yes, I will provide this at the end of I'll put it in the chat. Then also you can go to kyrise.ky.gov. That has all our information about these programs. So the cost of the tuition for the program is covered by their tuition waiver that I just mentioned. And then other costs that may be associated, books, etc., will be covered by their financial aid. Any other costs, though, that are not covered by the tuition waiver or by the financial aid, the program will cover. The Earn and Learn program will cover. So this is a free, totally free to the young person. It will not cost them any type of fees or anything to do this. We will just pay them every week. We have about over 30 young people, close to 40 young people registered for the Earn and Learn program for this upcoming fall. So they'll be starting school here in a few weeks. We are very excited. We've had about 30 young people or so earn credentials in the previous 2 years. Now we have about 30 to 40 registered for the fall. So we are really excited about supporting them. We have employment success coaches or education success coaches that we contract with, and they support them through the whole application process. They help them figure out the program that's best for them based upon their skill set and interests. They help them apply, they help them register, they help them clear any holds that may be on their account. They're there to help them through the entire process.
Hey, Lorraine.
Yes.
What are some of these credentials that students pursue?
That is a good question. And actually, the next screen
Oh.
here, that is an excellent question. I'm glad I included the screen. I wasn't going to. So these are some of the credentials that young people in the program have earned thus far. Criminal justice won't be eligible anymore because it's not a credential in high demand, but these other credentials, they've earned a lot of tech credentials, IT rather credentials, a lot of medical. Many of them are interested in the medical field. Nail technician. I'll give you a quick story about that. She did her nail, and all these programs, we partner with KCTCS, the Community Technical College, to provide this program. So it's offered across the state, regardless of where a young person lives. But the nail tech, she did so well. She got like the top score in her class. Her professor enrolled her into some type of city-wide contest for nail techs. She won, and she got to go into like the state nail tech, competition. This was her. She literally just completed a class. So we're really, really proud of these young people and their accomplishments. So these are just a few of the credentials. Many of them stack their credentials. Many of these credentials are stackable, so they can earn one and get another, and they'll just stack upon each other. The automotive credentials are like that as well. You can just stack. You can get a credential in brakes, and then this and that and that, and so you'll have multiple credentials. Something I didn't put in here a slide, but I do want to mention our new partnership with KCTCS. We've contracted with them to provide 2 special advisors just for foster youth, current and former foster youth. And so we know that just the process of enrolling, picking a program, etc., could be a barrier for our young people navigating that process. And so we have 2 virtual advisors for foster youth who will help them through that process. And so I should have put the slide in here, but definitely reach out to me if you want their contact information. They will help them and start early. So if a young person is interested in going to KCTCS, they're not sure what program they want to pursue, they're not sure about how to do the FAFSA, whatever the situation, please reach out. I'll include actually at the end, I'll include their information in the chat. Reach out to them, have them start working with them early. And we want to really, the goal of this partnership is to increase retention and graduation rates at KCTCS. Our goal is to have a partnership with all of the colleges throughout Kentucky, all the 4-year colleges, to provide some type of support, particularly for, current and former foster youth. Now, I will say we are contracting with them just to provide this service to foster youth. However, outside of their time, if they're, contracted with us, they want to support any foster youth or any youth or any person. So if you have a young person, DJJ youth, a youth who's not current or former foster youth, I encourage you to reach out to them as well. Because even though they're not eligible for our programming with them, they're still a KCTCS advisor. They still want to help them. So don't let that be a deterrent to reach out to these KCTCS advisors, because they don't have to be in foster care to get assistance. Something else that we actually just opened today is our summer skill series, hot off the press. We did this in 2020 and young people really enjoyed it. It got high reviews from young people. They can register today at KY Rise. At the end of the day, registration for all these things will be open, but it goes from September 1st to September 30th. And what it is, it's an online curriculum. They will have a choice between job readiness or personal responsibility. And the last time we did it, young people really gave us feedback that the curriculum is very interactive. It's not like just a dull curriculum that you do. Very, very interactive, very interesting, and very applicable to their lives. What they told us was that what they learned were things that they could really use in their life real time. So that's why they enjoyed it. But it's going to help them build skills around job readiness, job retention. The personal responsibility one is really interesting. It talks about social and emotional intelligence, which we know that employers are saying those are the skills they're really looking for right now. So the personal responsibility is really covering those soft skills that employers are looking for right now around empathy, like I said, social emotional intelligence, creating goals. Very, very interesting curriculum. They can receive $300. They can select one of the curriculums that they feel will best suit them, and they'll receive $300 for completing it. This is open to current foster youth between the ages of 17 and 21. Also, any young person who's aged out, if they're currently between the ages of 18 and 22, or if they were adopted at 16 or over, they also are eligible for this curriculum as well. So I'm very excited. Like I said, it's received high reviews in the past. And I feel like I'm talking fast, so I'll try to slow down. I tend to talk fast. So what I have been spending majority of my life on for the last 2 years is providing pandemic relief to foster youth. Excuse me. So we received pandemic funds from the federal government to provide these additional services to current and former foster youth. Last year, we were able to provide these services to youth up to 26, but the federal government reduced the age to 22. But still, we have been very excited to provide these services. We have been able to reach hundreds of other young people that we normally wouldn't be able to reach without these additional funds. Pandemic relief does end September 30th. So these, like I said, most of the benefits have gone to youth 18 to 22 or 26 last year. So we've been doing a variety of things, including a direct stimulus payment. So they have to attend a webinar and they'll receive a $2,000 stimulus. We've been helping to eliminate school debt. We have a ride service. One of the things that we've heard from young people is that they haven't had a ride to go get their license. Either they don't have a car to use or they don't even have a ride to just go get their permit. So during pandemic, we're providing them a car. We have a car that we will let them drive to take their license test. We have a car or someone who will take them to take the permit test. We're trying to really alleviate all barriers that we can with these funds. We're providing a driver's license incentive. So any young person who receives their driver's license will get a $500 incentive. We have car repairs. We're helping with extra money for car repairs, driver's education. We're helping with emergencies. We have provided all kinds of emergency assistance. We have service navigators. These navigators have been very crucial. So sometimes young people just have a multitude of issues. They just don't know how to navigate multiple systems and problems. And so we have service navigators through pandemic relief who will walk next to them, who will help them really kind of figure out these complex issues in their life. This is a new resource we just started providing through pandemic relief. I'm really excited about is dental assistance. So what we notice is that we have a lot of young people who are coming to us with just really severe dental issues, all eroded teeth. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to afford on their own to get their teeth fixed. And so we're providing funds of up to $4,000 to help them address those complex dental issues they're having. I can tell you, we have a young lady right now, all of her teeth were eroded, just, really, really bad. And we're helping her. They have to pull all her teeth out. And she has to get dentures, and she's only like 22 years old, but we're really excited that's going to change her life. I don't think we realize how important, our smile, our teeth really is. So another program that's been very popular is Wheels to the World, is where we provide $8,000 to young people to help them purchase a car. There's an application process, it's very competitive, but we've approved up to, I believe, almost 40 young people for this benefit. We can approve up to 56. Oh, here's our picture. I want to show you a picture. She was our first young person to get our Wheels to the World assistance, and she's there with her car, very excited. Let me see. I think I have a question. So young people apply for all these things at kyrise.ky.gov. That is where, put that in here. Young people will apply for all this at the kyrise.ky.gov. There's a spot there for pandemic assistance. Go back slide though. Uh-oh. Okay, so another pandemic benefit that we have been providing is our Adulting 101 master classes. These have been very interesting. We've been offering these on Saturdays once a month. And we've covered, I've acquired various facilitators who are experts in their area. And we've been just teaching the young people about various things. We had one about healthy relationships last month was around consent and setting boundaries. It was very interesting, very interesting. We had realtors come and car dealers come, talk about the process of purchasing a home, purchasing a car. How do you do that? What are the steps? We had entrepreneurs come and talk about entrepreneurship and vocational programs. We had a national speaker come and talk about building generational wealth. We had one on family planning, sexual health. This month is about self-care 101. So we have some experts coming about physical health, how to maintain your physical health, how to maintain your mental health, your spiritual health. And then the last one in September will be about investing. So really, before we started these master classes, we reached out to young people through a poll to ask, what are some things that you want to learn about? And these are some of the things that came up, things that they didn't know about, they didn't have the information on. And so we've been offering these master classes. They receive $250 for each master class they attend. Like I said, we only have 2 master classes left. That's the self-care and the investing 101. So the master classes originally were only for young people between the ages of 18 and 22, but for the rest of the time of pandemic aid, which ends September 30th, through the end, 16 and 17-year-olds will be eligible to attend the master classes. So we are opening it up to 16 and 17-year-olds. So we're very excited about that. I know that many of you all probably work with that population, 16 and 17-year-olds. So they are going to be able to attend the August and September master class. Also, we will be offering 16 and 17-year-olds a special stimulus payment of $1,000. So in order to receive that, they will need to attend a September 10th meeting. It'll be just for them. It's going to be talking about, oops, my hand got happy there. It's going to be around health, healthy relationships and mental health. And it's going to be very interesting. And if they attend that meeting, they will receive a stimulus of $1,000 in the form of a gift card. Again, to receive this, they will need to register at kyrise.ky.gov. Any questions about that before I move on? You can unmute yourself if you like to ask a question. All right. And like I said, all of these benefits for pandemic in September 30th. So we are really trying to max out the funding and help as many young people as possible. So if you are aware of any young person in these categories who have not applied, please encourage them to register at kyrise.ky.gov. And that is the end of my presentation. Lord, I went fast. Are there any questions about benefits or resources?
What was the what did you say about if students need to get rides to places? What was the service that does that? Like if they need to get a ride to go get their permit or their driver's license?
Yes, that's part of our pandemic relief. We just call it ride service. So they would just need to register at pandemic relief. So what happens are KY rides. When they register, a pandemic relief navigator will call them and they will, go through with them all of the resources, kind of figure out what resource is best for them. When they register, they have a chance to check which resource they're interested in. And then the pandemic navigator will call them and review with them all of the benefits and get them to where they need to go to access that resource. Any other questions? Yes, this can be found at the kyrise.ky website. Okay, there's a question about a DJJ youth. Let me see here. Amanda Henry, did you have a question around the educational benefits?
No, ma'am, I didn't have a question. I just, you had mentioned about KCTCS, and I have worked with youth where I'm at Moorhead, and we've had kids that have had their high school diploma. And so we've been able to, through the financial aid, they've been able to be awarded that Pell Grant to be able to take classes at KCTCS college.
Yes. Also, though, DJJ offers their own tuition waiver.
Right.
So if you all definitely should, they really shouldn't have to use their Pell Grant. They should be able to use their tuition waiver.
Well, with the community college, they always have to fill out the Pell Grant. So they go through that first. And then so whatever's not used with the Pell Grant, they will use. So with our kids, tuition waiver,
they always apply their waiver first. So all of our kids, they always apply their waiver first, and our kids get back the waiver in a residual check. So they never apply their Pell Grant first. They have to do the FAFSA, it is required, but they always apply their tuition waiver first, and they get it back in a residual. So I'm not sure why that would be different for your kids.
I don't know. Is it a different tuition waiver, or?
It is a different tuition waiver, but it's still KCCS financial aid applying it. So I don't see why they will be applying the waiver any different as far as applying the financial aid first. That's not how they do it with our kids. They apply the waiver first, and then if they don't have any other costs, then they get the Pell Grant and state grants back in a refund check.
Okay, I'll have to check into that then.
Yes, they should get. How do you get this information out to foster kids? So we are using our website. We are reaching out to community partners like yourself. We have a youth leadership council that is out spreading the word about these benefits. We are in the process of creating an app. We know young people like apps, so we are in the process of creating an app. We really are strongly dependent on the staff that work with the young people to be educated about the benefits and to educate the young people about the benefits. So we are trying to get it out in as many means as possible so that young people know about it. With second English, yes, absolutely. They would qualify for any benefit as well. The English second language students. One benefit I didn't tell you about on here that I wanted to mention is that every region, DCBS is broken up into 9 regions, and every region offers 2 events per year for foster youth. We have a Kentucky Rise event, which is like a fun event, and then our Youth Leadership Council will come to that event. They will explain resources and services just like I'm doing now. They'll explain it to the young people, and then they'll do something fun, such as going to Kentucky Kingdom. That was the Kentucky Rise event recently in Louisville. They went to Kentucky Kingdom. Then they'll have an education event. And that event is where they'll learn a skill. They'll learn something, one of the skills I talked about, and there's, have lunch or whatever. We please encourage your agencies to, look out for that information, work with the independent living specialists in the region to have young people attend those events. That's where they're going to learn about these benefits. That's where they're going to get to meet youth on the Youth Leadership Council, other youth like themselves. Right now, we've had some pretty low attendance. I know that we're in the times of COVID. But one of the things that the Youth Leadership Council is interested in doing potentially is just going directly to the agency. So for example, they may just want to go directly to Maryhurst, directly to Home of the Innocents, having events directly there at the sites so that they can get more youth interaction. So I'm excited to see that happen for this upcoming fiscal year. Any other questions? Yes, I wish you had seen it earlier. Definitely not too late though. It's not closed out. They are still eligible. And so because of the master classes have been so interesting and well received by the young people, those are definitely things that we want to continue. We want to continue. The good thing about pandemic, if you could say that, these pandemic relief efforts is it's shown us the gaps in our service deliveries, system. It's shown us the needs that are, are present. And so we really are going to try to continue some of these things, particularly the master classes. We want to continue the master classes. Now, we might not be able to offer them $250 for attending every single one, but we want to continue the master classes. Well, if you don't have any other questions, I will stop sharing. I agree. They don't seem to be aware of the resources, unfortunately. One more thing I will tell you, since I seem to have more time. If you all are aware, hopefully you're all aware, young people in foster care starting at 17, they should be starting their transition planning. So they should start meeting with their independent living specialists in their region at 17. And then they'll meet with them again right before aging out. So that is another opportunity to learn about these benefits and resources, is when their independent living specialist is meeting with them, okay? But then also, even starting as early as 14, they can start attending those KY Rise meetings. Those KY Rise meetings I was telling you about, the education meetings in the regions, they can attend those starting at 14 years old. And that's going to get them knowing about all these benefits and resources. Now, if you have a young person who is 17 and they're in foster care and they haven't had a transition planning meeting that you know of, please reach out to me. Please let me know, and I will connect them with their independent living specialist, because it's the law. We have to make sure that they get their transition planning meeting. Do y'all have any other questions about foster care that I can answer in our little bit of time left together? So the master classes have actually been virtual, which has been great because it's allowed us to serve young people all over the state who otherwise wouldn't have transportation to attend these meetings, right? So no, the master classes have been virtual. I think we probably will continue to have them virtual just for accessibility. The KY Rise meetings and the Kentucky Rise meetings that happen in the regions, they are in person.
Hey, Lorraine, I might have missed it during your presentation, and sorry if I did, but are you guys still doing the internships there at the cabinet?
Yes, we are. I actually didn't mention it only because we're not doing it. We are going to do it this year, but it's called Fostering Success. I forgot to mention it because I've been so focused on Earn and Learn, I forgot. But we have an internship program called Fostering Success, and it is where we connect young people with internships. So we pay them $12 an hour for 10 weeks. We find the intern for them. We have worksite providers all over the state, and we really try to connect them with an internship that is of their interest, right? So if they're interested in the medical field, we try to get them an internship in that area. And so we just finished interviews for that program. And so that will be they'll be starting work here in August. Also with Earn and Learn, we do interviews for that twice a year. So we've already done the interviews for August. We'll be doing interviews for the spring semester in a few months. So definitely just keep looking on KY Rise and that new app that we're getting ready to create. But yeah, Fostering Success was our first baby, and then we created Earn and Learn. Any other questions? Also, I just hopefully you all know as well that the law recently changed about young people coming back into care. So young people do have the option to request to come back into foster care until they're 20 years old. So it was previously 19. Young people in foster care advocated for it to be even older. And so now they can come back, they can request to come back into their 20th birthday. And they would do that just on the website, KY Rise there. There's a place there that says request to return to care. And so if a young person is in the community struggling that you know of, and there's no reason for them to struggle. Number one, they can request to come back into care. Number two, we have a variety of aftercare services to help them. We have housing programs, we have financial assistance, emergency funds for those who've aged out. So there's really no reason for any young person who's aged out of care to be struggling and in the streets, because we have plenty of resources to help them help themselves. Great. Well, I'm glad to have shared. Well, Cindy, do you have any other questions or anything else you all like me to share? I think I was talking fast. I went.
Lorraine will send the presentation to me and I'll get it to Katie and we'll have it up on our website with all the handouts from this summit. So it'll be available to everyone.
All right. Well, again, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information will be in the presentation if you have any other questions. And please help me get the word out about all these benefits. We don't want them to go. If we don't use up all the pandemic money, we have to give it back. And we don't want to give it back. We want to use it on the young people. So, all right. Well, thanks for inviting me.
Thank you, Lorraine. Every time we have you on, everybody gets so excited about all these funds. So we're always glad to have you back. And thank you for sharing everything with us.
Absolutely. Well, you all have a great day.
All right. You too.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.